college football fans, quarterback fans, and today, Arkansas fans. Welcome to the QB Spotlight video breakdown. Today's a little bit different. We're not diving into an actual quarterback today. We're going to talk about the new offensive coordinator at Arkansas, and that's Dan Enos, the former Maryland OC who's now at Arkansas, who had a previous stop at Arkansas several years prior, and now is back. So I want to take a few minutes and look at his offense, talk about some similarities that Arkansas did last year offensively with Briles and some differences, but talk about how it could be a good potential fit and a good approach, and how KJ could really make this offense take off. Right, it always helps when you have a good quarterback like KJ. But just knowing a lot of Arkansas fans and being in communication with them, there seems to there's been a lot of talk about Dan Enos and just his system, and a lot of questions about it, like what he's going to be running, this, and that. So I want to take a few minutes to just kind of give my 2 cents for whatever that's worth, which is not very much, and look at the offense. But before we go into any more detail, I just want to encourage y'all to consider subscribing to the channel. This is just a big quarterback hub. We talk all things related to the quarterback position, and of course, the OC is related to the quarterback position. We have weekly interviews with current and former quarterbacks and coaches and recruiters. So if you like any quarterback content, please consider subscribing. We do film breakdowns, all that fun stuff. Okay, enough of me kind of plugging the channel. So let's talk about Dan Enos. Let's talk about the offense that he did at Maryland the past 2 years and how that kind of related and kind of compared to the offense that Arkansas ran, especially how KJ played, and then we'll talk about what we can see moving forward with this Arkansas offense. So the biggest takeaway for me when you look at the film, but if you just read the box score, would be the running game, would be what Maryland did running wise compared to what Arkansas did running wise, right? And that may be a bit unfair because Arkansas's rushing attack was one of the best in the nations. Arkansas was number 2 in the SEC in rushing in 2022 and was actually number 1 in 2021 in the SEC, and they had just a running back by committee approach. 2022 was a bit different. You had your guy, right? And then of course you had KJ, but you had more of a one kind of go-to running back, where 2021 you had multiple guys. But I think that bodes well. And Maryland, on the other hand, in 2021, they were 10th in the Big Ten in rushing. 2022 was a little bit better; they were 7th, but still, their rushing yards and the rushing attempts go hand in hand, right? So their attempts were the exact same. Their rushing attempts in 2021 and 2022 was 7th and 10th. So the exact same of rushing yards. So they really didn't try to get the run game going. I think why Arkansas was effective offensively was because of the run game. And if you want to dive a little bit deeper, I think it's because KJ can push the ball downfield, so it opened up some running opportunities. But that's another video. So I think that's number 1. I think the running attack, the running ability is number 1. And when we look at the film that we're going to watch, you're going to see the structure of the run game can be a bit different, right? But we'll get that here in a second. So number 1 is the run game. Maryland was not nearly as effective, and they did not call the run game as much as Arkansas did. Arkansas, was one of the best running teams in the country. Number 2 is also the ability to push the ball downfield. And you would think with Maryland passing more than running, they would have taken some more shots downfield, and that was not necessarily the case. It wasn't that they didn't push the ball downfield. It was just compared to Briles' offense, that's kind of the name of the game. Run, throw that sucker downfield if you can, right? Or try to hit someone in stride downfield. KJ's first year starting, he was 9.1 yards per attempt downfield. Last year was 8.8. That's pretty high. That's a good number to be at. Maryland's quarterback, and I'm so bad at pronouncing the last name. I'm not even going to try. Just Tua's brother, and I apologize because I'm just not good at pronouncing that last name. He had 8.1 yards per attempt and 7.7. Not horrible, not bad by any means, but still it's a full yard off essentially of what KJ was doing, right? So you want to make sure when Enos comes in, you want to make sure that you're still able to push the ball downfield. You don't want that number to drop. The number drops, the safeties creep up, the run game is affected. And if Arkansas was so good in the run game the previous few years, you want to make sure that the run game is not affected. So again, some differences there, right? But at the same time, there is some similarities, and there's some really good things that Enos did, right? Like they were top 3 in passing in the Big Ten in 2022 and top 2 in 2021. They put up some really big numbers. They had some winning seasons with Enos as the OC. So I think that's a positive thing coming forward, and something that maybe could even potentially improve KJ's game, because Enos is a good quarterback coach, right? A lot of people I've talked to really harp on, like, man, he's really talented with developing the quarterback. So that's, I think, a really good potential benefit of Enos coming in. So biggest differences so far, the running game, but the running game, in my opinion, anyone that watches the channel, goes hand in hand with the passing game, right? So I think if they can somehow find a happy medium where they can get the run game going, that's going to benefit the passing game too. So we're going to watch some film, and I want y'all to look at these different concepts that they have at Maryland. Now, it's only 5 clips, but I went through this whole game and was able to get a good understanding of kind of the concept that Enos wants to run, right? They do run the spread, but it's a little bit different than Briles. Most every team runs the spread. So when you're running the spread, there's going to be similar concepts and different concepts depending on the OC. Now you're going to see when they line up, alignment's the biggest difference so far, at least that I was able to pick up on. Briles, a lot of times the receivers would be either on the numbers or outside the numbers, a really wide field, big field. And Enos, at least with the game I watched, and I could be wrong with some other games, so take it with a grain of salt, but their field's going to be a little bit smaller, right? So the receivers aren't going to be as wide. They're going to be probably slightly inside the numbers. And then as far as the running back alignment goes, whenever it was a pass or run, it would seem a bit different. You'll notice in some of these films that on some of the running plays, the running back lines up a yard and a half behind the quarterback, which isn't a huge deal necessarily, just a difference. And then you'll see Arkansas, their running back would be a bit closer to the quarterback, not as far back. So little difference, right? But also, like we said, a lot of similarities, similar, a lot of pre-snap motion. They try to set up a lot of easy throws to the quarterback. They try to create space for the quarterback. That's huge. That's in the college offense, that's like the name of the game, setting up easy throws to the quarterback, right? So even though there's some difference alignment-wise, there's still a lot of similarities in the spread and the fact that there's a lot of pre-snap motion, trying to get the defense out of position, and you're trying to set up an easy throw for KJ. What quarterback doesn't want an easy throw, right? There's a reason why only a handful of quarterbacks can make it on Sunday, because it's tough to throw your guys open play after play after play. Compared to the college game, you want to create some easy throws. So we're going to see Enos' ability to create some easy throws. We're going to see the ability to set up the throw for the quarterback, which of course any quarterback would invite, right? So when it comes down to it, before we dive into this film, we're going to see some similarities and some differences, and I think it can be a good fit. I think KJ is the ultimate piece in this puzzle, if you will, because I think he can really help in the OC, and I think the OC can mold the scheme to what KJ does well. And I think there's some similarities that KJ has with Tua's brother in Maryland, but KJ is going to run the ball a little bit better, which I think can open up some passing lanes. So with all that said, we're going to look at 4 or 5 clips. Again, take it with a grain of salt, because I don't want to say cherry picked. I just picked a few clips based off watching a game that I thought kind of did a good job demonstrating what Enos does as an OC. Don't run the ball as much as Arkansas. Maybe that changes, but they want to create easy throws for the quarterback. They have a lot of pre-snap motion and pre-snap movement to try to get the defense out of position. So again, I know y'all are tired of seeing my face. This was a bit lengthier than I wanted it to be before watching the film, but I wanted to have like a little breakdown before. So let's go and watch this film. Just a run play here. Boom. We're going to watch the clip real quick. We'll kind of break it down a bit more detail. Now, it seems simple, and it is. It's a simple give. Looks like some zone blocking scheme up front by the O-line. But takeaways or differences. So Enos has his running back lining up about almost 2 yards behind the quarterback, 1.5 yards. Whereas if you look at Arkansas and Sanders is maybe half a yard behind KJ here. So just little different alignment here, and then you'll notice the run play. Not sure if gosh, I can't pronounce the last name very good. To his brother, we'll call it, has the ability to pull this or not. But you'll see if this was KJ and last year's offense, this would be a pull for sure. We'll watch the behind the center angle and kind of get a better example of why that would be a pull if he has the option. Not sure if this was a called run pass option or zone read for the quarterback here, but we have 6 people down, right? And so the tight end's going up here. So you have 5 blockers to take on 6 guys in the box. I'm going to go ahead and count this safety as 7. So you essentially got 7v5. So if that was the case, then you would pull the ball and throw it if it's the RPO scheme. Right now, he may not have that option. Maybe he couldn't check out of it. And so it ends up being a not so good of a game running wise. You see, they just don't have enough blockers. This is the 6th guy that's unblocked, able to come in and make the tackle there. So that's why having that option is important, especially in this game. But again, don't know if that option was even there, or if he was just told, hey, just give it. Not sure they're trying to set something up, but just an example of maybe a little difference between Briles and Enos here. The pass here, and we're going to see, I think it's just a slant. I forget which receiver's running it. We'll see here in a second. But we're going to see some pre-snap motion here. We'll see the receivers, they're spread out, but like we mentioned earlier in the video, not every play, most of the time they're not as wide as Arkansas. Sometimes you'll see Arkansas, or at least last year's with Briles, on the numbers or even outside the numbers, making the width of the field longer, right? None is right or wrong necessarily, just depends on offensive scheme and the alignment, right? So alignment's different, but you see the pre-snap motion. That's creating the space right here. Boom, just like we talked about again in the video. Set up an easy throw. Nice ball there. It was like, I think, second and long or third and long, right? So they're giving that throw, but still set up a nice throw there. We'll go ahead and watch the this angle here. We'll see tight end, fullback, halfback, whatever he is, coming in motion. Boom. So that creates the space that we talked about. Creating an easy throw for the quarterback, something that the Briles did as well last year. Another play somewhat similar to the play we just watched. There is no motion here, although most of the plays that, watching Maryland's offense, there's a lot of pre-snap motion. But anyways, this is going to be, ball comes out quick. Enos was able to set up a nice throw for the quarterback, right? We talked about that. It's creating space for the quarterback to deliver the ball. And we're going to see the receivers, are within the numbers. Again, not as wide as maybe the offense in the past at Arkansas. So watch this play real quick. Nothing crazy here. They just set up a nice, easy concept where we got man coverage, but the receiver right here, his man was as a safety, 10 yards off the ball. Nice, easy read. Good play design there. Not a great throw. If you hit him in stride, he's still going, but the concept there, right? Take away the concept itself. Creating space, giving the quarterback an easy throw. Boom. Here we got a play that's probably going to look familiar to Razorback fans or someone that keeps up the Briles offense. We'll see someone coming in motion here. They're going to try to slip a tight end out. We got play action, and ends up not being a good play. But as far as the style of the play, something similar, right? That Arkansas is at least used to. The offense is at least used to running, right? So you got the play act. You got guy coming in motion. You got play action. Tight end trying to sneak out here. Ohio State does a really good job defending it. Ends up not being a successful play, but very similar kind of concept that you saw in the past few years of Arkansas offense. So I think that's good, right? I think the players are going to have some familiarity with plays and design like this, even though this play itself was a no bueno. All right, so just 4 or 5 clips. I forgot exactly how many we put in, but again, that was based off a whole game that we just broke down, and we tried to find a few clips that kind of demonstrated what we were talking about. I don't want this to be an hour-long video. It's already longer than it needs to be, but I did want to show some clips watching. But I would encourage you to go and watch more Enos film and kind of check it out for yourselves. But those are just kind of the main keys we talked about, right? Where the running game was different than Arkansas, and the passing game was as well. But I think as far as pre-snap motion, being a spread offense, creating easier throws for the quarterback, I think those are some similarities and stuff that any fan or player would invite in. But again, just a quick breakdown over Enos's offense, and I'm sure I missed a ton, and there's a lot more deep dive, if you will, if you wanted it. But just want to give a quick breakdown over Dan Enos's offense. I think it has a lot of potential, and I think anytime you have a quarterback like KJ, any offense can work. But those are my 2 cents. I want to hear from you, Arkansas fans, SEC fans, just football fans in general. Let us know in the comments below what you think of this hire, what you think of the offensive just system in general, and just let us know your thoughts. And so we'll see you next time. Like, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff.